it all falls apart in the knockout. Anyway, we'll keep you up to date with what happens on table 2. It really does look as though Karen Wilson is just about over the line. On table 1, it's a clash of giants. Judd Trump against John Higgins. Trump's playing for money. Higgins is playing
5
for a semi-final
Right,
place
the
that's
match.
not yet
Karen
secured. There it is, Karen Wilson,
Yes, Karen.
3-1. He defeats Zhao Guodong. Zhao is now in serious trouble. Karen Wilson's stock has risen.
It's a nice shot to cushion escape. There's still an outside chance though for Stuart Bingham, Lazowski or Guodong to make the playoffs, because I think they're pretty much playing each other in the last sort of 2 or 3 matches they play, so someone's going to be forced to get wins. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if later on tonight this is a repeat of the final, this match we're watching now. Slight advantage for Judd, having just played on this table, to go straight back on. And just made a century as well. That's a lovely little shot. Slightly hampered over the red for the black, but if he knocks it in, could be in business. Oh, very awkward queuing.
There are so many great things about Judd Trump's game. One thing is that when he's over balls,
8.
he's terrific. Not infallible, but very good.
9.
Yeah, and it's a weird one because the way he strikes the ball, say coming from left to right across the shot, he's no right to be that good at that type of shot, but yeah, he's very good at it. It's quite handy, the pink going down onto the blue spot.
16.
Yeah, the danger for John Higgins and for Judd's last opponent, I think, is it Neil Robertson, is that Judd's now basically just playing for practice. You'd imagine that most of these top players are unbelievable in practice.
22.
Well, your son Oliver knows all about that with Judd. Tell us the story.
23.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he said that he went down to play, and I think he said in the they played I think 5 best of 9s, and in the 25 frames that Judd won during the session, he had 17 tons.
30.
I don't think he would have enjoyed it had he made a turn in a frame he lost. I think the highest ever break to lose a frame came from a really good friend of mine, Neil Foulds.
31.
He was playing Willie Thorne many moons ago, made 80, went for a liberty of a red, trying to chase a 147, and Thorne got the snookers he required and won the frame. So
80?
That's 80, 80.
Impossible, Phil.
38.
No, it's true. It really happened.
80?
Yeah, so therefore there were 67 points left on the table. That means the great WT required 4 snookers.
Did Neil retire soon after?
Well, he allows me to mention that story once a year, so that's my quota for 2023 gone. Oh, and that's the break gone as the red comes down and blocks the black.
Yeah, and the look of disgust for Judd. He was eyeing another century up there. To possibly put the pink safe.
Judd Trump, 39.
Everyone talks about Judd Trump's naughty snooker, but it's not the naughty stuff now that makes him so formidable. It's the nice stuff, like that pink.
Yes, his safety's improved a lot since he burst onto the scene. And I think it has to. He can't become a prolific winner like he is without having all aspects of the game at a high level. Just a loose one from John. Didn't expect the cannons. Now does the black pot. The left-hand corner. If it does, just pot this red in the middle and stun across to the opposite side of the table.
One.
Yeah, controlled it well.
Eight.
I wonder if anyone's ever won
Nine.
the final fill without losing a match.
I would think it would be unlikely. The winners group, you mean?
Yeah.
I think it's unlikely because of the quality of the players involved. What I do know is that John Higgins
60.
in 2017-2018 became the only player
70.
and remains the only player to successfully defend the Championship League title. And right now, his hopes of defending again,
24.
they're slipping.
25.
Yes, he would still have another chance after this match. Takes on Zhao Guodong next to get to 3 points. But a defeat here would definitely crank up the
32.
pressure.
That's this
33.
frame gone now. With not much chance for John Higgins to get his queuing going.
$38. $39.
Trump playing with freedom, and that is not recommended for the rest.
$46. $47.
Yeah, not enough one for the century, but
$54. $55.
Just talking about centuries, Peter, the next one will be the 150th in this year's Bedvictor Championship League. Already, previous records have been obliterated.
60.
Oh, stop it.
61.
Fetch the police.
That's ridiculous.
63.
I think
65.
the biggest compliment you can pay Trump is that he can do things that other players can't.
Yeah, absolutely.
68.
Yeah, it makes it look effortless. He finds some angles for shots to get position on
72.
when he's clearing up, and the black where he plays it off 5 or 6 cushions to go down for the yellow and stuff like that. It's just, yeah, fantastic to watch.
77.
And he gets the occasional fluke as well. It's unfair, this game, isn't it? An 83 clearance to pink for Judd Trump. He won that frame to love. John Higgins won't be loving how it transpired. Over the years, John Higgins and Judd Trump have had some almighty battles on the green baize.
Thank you. Second frame. John Higgins to break.
They've had some battles in this Championship League. They met in Group 4 of this year's event. In the regulation match, Higgins won 3-2. Then, in the final of the group, it was Trump who prevailed, aided by 3 centuries.
Standard.
They've had some winners group encounters as well. 2017 and 2019, they were both in the winners group. And when John Higgins won in 2018 in Coventry, he beat Trump 3-2 from 2-1 down in Group 7, and then over the course of the next 2 days won the whole thing.
What?
Higgins, of course, is well aware of the brilliance that Trump is capable of. The most notable example, the World Championship final in 2019. In terms of quality, the best ever. Higgins had 4 centuries. Trump won 18-9 with 7.
Yeah, he had a spell in the middle of the match, I remember, that was just, it was just
9.
unplayable. It was just unbelievable. Have we seen a maximum in this year's Championship League?
No, we've had so many big breaks, but no maximums yet. And of course, over the years, the Championship League has been a hotbed of maximums. The 147 was compiled in the Championship League by Dave Gilbert. The one that gave me most pleasure was when Fergal O'Brien did his. He was delighted. Never made one before.
14.
Obviously, he'd done it in practice, but never in a match, and he was over the moon. Oh, but that's a very poor one from Judd Trump. If he's fluked this red, that is outrageous. Thankfully, no.
Judd Trump, 14.
Yeah, John Higgins then needs to find something now.
One.
In purely Championship League meetings, Higgins leads 9-6 with 1 draw. Outside of the Championship League, their head-to-head couldn't be closer. It's 14 each. Although, that doesn't really tell the full story, because Higgins led at 1 point 17, or should I say 13-7. Trump has won 7 of their last 8 encounters.
7.
It's gone a little bit astray. I think he thought he could
14.
have a free shot opening the reds up with the red hanging over the green pocket, but covered it by the pink, and I don't think there's a shot on. You can't pot one here. Having a go at it.
$15.
Yeah, that's a great shot.
All about commitment, that you pick your potting angle, because he's potting into a blind bag. Pick the potting angle and just believe in it.
Couldn't have played it any better.
$21.
It would have been easy to just play into the reds and probably force the re-rack. Not fully committed to winning the game in this visit.
I'm not saying that John Higgins is a bad rest player. He's not, but in relation to the rest of his game, there have been times in his career when you might say it was a comparative weakness. But I've noticed this season, he's been really reliable with the rest.
John just taking the chance there to open the reds, knowing the ball was hanging over the
28.
green pocket, so great chance to win the frame now.
I can tell you over on table 2, Jack Lisowski has won the opening frame against Kyron Wilson, aided by a break of 78. As you might imagine, it didn't take that long to compile.
$29.
John will be disappointed if he doesn't go on to win this frame at this visit. Five reds around the black spot open.
And that lovely fail-safe red hanging over the green pocket should anything be a little difficult positionally. That's a nice safety net to have.
36.
Black still pots on tight.
37.
The red pot as well above it.
I've looked at the shot too. I've looked at it. Thank you, John.
John just asking the referee to make sure that he believes the red pots, because he's going to play on it just for when it goes back tight up to it again this time.
That was a backhanded form of nomination. We knew which red he was going to play on before he knocked the black in.
Doing his own commentary.
44.
The best or the worst, depending on perspective when it comes to doing his own commentary, is Matthew Selt. He did it for 7 groups here. It seems strange walking in yesterday and not seeing Matt in the players' room. And ever present this year, apart from the winners' group.
Yeah, he loves it, Matt. He loves to tell you good or bad.
51. $52.
One of the big characters on the tour is Matt. In good control.
59.
John Higgins. Still 2 straightforward reds between black and pink.
60.
46 in front. So just this black and 1 more red to level it up.
$67. 68.
Seems like they've all sort of woke up this morning and realised that this is the business end, and they've all brought their A game.
Yes, we always say, don't we, that the intensity
74.
in any group increases on day 2. But that's compounded when it's the
75.
winners' group.
It's a nicely struck shot. Roll this one
81.
in now for the black. Just come below the black so he can go down for the last red.
82.
Two options here, just drop behind it or try and nudge it down the cushion towards the corner pocket.
$89.
Oh, that's a shame.
John Higgins, 89.
It was a really well-constructed break. Had the red gone in, more than likely it would have been three figures. As it is, though, John Higgins does the main thing. He equalises at 1-1. Matching 80 breaks so far from two former world champions as they go head-to-head in the Bet Victor Championship League Winners Group.
The third frame, Judd Trump to break.
Judd Trump enjoyed the initial success in this match with a break of 83. John Higgins responded with 89 in frame two. Still early days in the second frame between Jack Lazowski and Kyron Wilson. Lazowski leading 1-0 there. Just a reminder, some really good table to action for you today. If you want to see any of the stuff that's going on over there, it's available on matchroom.live or the Matchroom Multisport YouTube channel.
One.
Superb.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic cueing. Struck it perfectly, didn't overhit it, just trusted his technique.
Peter, you mentioned before that you wouldn't be surprised to see these two in the overall group final later on tonight. Neither would I. I think the only way it can't happen for sure is if one of them finishes top of the group, the other finishes fourth, because then they would play in the semi-finals. But of course, if Higgins were to win this match and he's next on this table against Zhao Guodong, more than likely they would not be first and fourth. Actually, though, if Trump were to then lose his last match, they could be second and third, which would mean they met in the semi-finals as well. So many permutations before the final ball is potted, before the trophy is lifted.
$15.
Has it held up?
20.
I think it has. He's striding round, it looks good.
$21. 28.
Sure he gets top side of the blue.
29.
Start thinking
34.
about how he's going to break these reds up. That red below the pink may well go into the corner, but it's very tight past the other red.
$35.
Left that a little bit straight, so we won't be going to from here. Will he play on the red along the black cushion? Looks like he's winding up to try and go into the reds.
You see that shot time and time again. It's a legitimate
42.
way of breaking the bunch. But I would say the success rate off the top cushion into them, I would say the success rate is less than 50%.
Yeah, it's not the ideal way, because no matter how well you hit it, you're always trusting a little bit to luck. These top players like to take luck out of the equation.
43.
That's a fantastic recovery shot from Higgins. Really nicely controlled off the other red for position as well. Just a little gentle cannon off the other red. Now down for the table for the red past the blue. He's looking really good, is John, in amongst the balls.
50.
Yes, it was in and out for Higgins yesterday. Started out on the back foot, lost 3-0 to Kyron Wilson. He was 2-0 down to Stuart Bingham next time out. Won that one 3-2, helped by a couple of centuries. Then he lost 3-2 against Neil Robertson, but bounced back by beating Jack
56.
Lazowski 3-1. So 2 points for Higgins so far. A win here would be invaluable.
$57.
Yeah, and just at the moment where he needed one good positional shot, trusted to luck a little bit and deserted him, I'm afraid. He has still got the potential yellow with the rest. I think the pink's gone slightly in the way of going back down the table, so he may well opt to put up all safe.
And with Higgins in these kind of situations, he accepts the fact that things haven't gone correctly for him. Doesn't rush into any kind of choice. thinks about all
John Higgins,
of the options.
57.
And although the cue ball left something to be desired, at least the yellow is halfway down a cushion. Mission accomplished in that regard.
Yeah, that was his priority, but Judd's thinking, can I get the white in behind the pink here? And if he does, yeah, John kind of asked for that, I'm afraid. Such a big target, that pink.
Thank you.
Where it was positioned, natural angle to come back down. John's going to have to play the 2 cushion escape, I think. Gotta make sure he doesn't catch it too thick. Just changed his mind mid-shot there. Got down to play the 2 cushion escape and then decided to just
foul and a miss. 4.
Change his mind
Judd trump.
without changing his stance or anything.
Yeah, that goes directly against the textbook. If you change your mind, which of course is your prerogative, you must stand up and realign.
Put it back, okay. Up here, John. Little bit, fraction more. Because I looked, you could get through the gap with it. Yeah. Okay. I looked, you could get through the
I think
gap.
we may
with the
see
pink
John
light
play a
bulb, but you
different
couldn't
shot
see the
next
red.
time.
Yeah.
That's the same one. Doesn't want to catch it too thick. Pretty good white, but let's put the red towards the corner pocket. And in it goes.
And it's at times like these, against opponents like these, where John Higgins will be very grateful he had the presence of mind to put the yellow safe.
And it is a really good yellow where the balls are positioned. Nothing really
6.
close to it, so he can't get the yellow off without playing an unbelievable shot.
Seven.
Just let that one run away slightly. Yeah, and then that's had a knock-on effect into his next shot.
14.
Still slightly out of position. Can't seem to get it, but it is missable.
15.
Sneaked in.
$22.
They've been playing each other, these two, for 15 years. The first meeting was the semi-final of the 2008 Grand Prix, as Trump tries to remove the yellow, and he does so to a certain extent.
23.
Meetings between these two, far more often than not, are attractive, gripping, sometimes dramatic. Very rarely are they one-sided as Trump plays a terrific shot. Bounce. Has it bounced enough?
26.
It doesn't look like it, Phil. But he obviously thinks it has. He's going to try and get the other red off as well.
27.
Yeah, and he did. He just gave it a little nudge on the way past.
The yellow's in a better place than it was, Peter, but it's still not too clever for a left-hander.
34.
No, he'd like to get right behind it into the middle pocket as opposed to the corner. That's a clever
35.
shot because that's given him the chance to stun straight down. It's to be judged well though. I don't think it goes in the corner, past into the green pocket, so can he judge it? Needs to travel. Oh, look at that, Phil. Look at that.
42.
One good shot here, and the steal is on. Obviously, it's going to be more difficult than normal, Peter, to go from pink to black, but well within his capabilities.
Yeah, I don't think he needs it though, Phil, does he? What is there?
You are right, he doesn't.
I mean, I bet when John Higgins left the
47.
table, he didn't think there's any possible chance he wouldn't get another shot in this frame. I bet his mind's changed now.
$51.
Yes, blue and pink will do. Had a great 57 break, knocked in a raking red down the side cushion. But it wasn't enough.
56.
Forget the black. The pink is sufficient. Wobbles that one in. Nevertheless, that really was an escape of the finest quality. It looked as though John Higgins was going to take the lead. In fact, it's Trump back in front at 2-1. Judd Trump is one of those players who can win frames from nowhere. One of the best clearances I ever saw was from him against Stephen Maguire in the semi-final of the Players' Championship just before the coronavirus pandemic hit in 2020. He won that match, won the final up in Southport in Lancashire. The clearance, it was extraordinary. Now, the escape he just made there wasn't quite in that category, but it was still very good. And Higgins must now try and recover. Easier said than done. The burden of pressure here is different for both players. Higgins badly needs a victory. Trump's semi-final place is already under lock and key. I can tell you, by the way, Kyron Wilson won the second frame against Jack Lazowski on table 2, so it's 1-1 over there.
it just shows you though, Phil, you called it in the last frame. When Higgins put the yellow safe, not getting the cue ball also tight under the cushion, in the end cost him the frame.
You actually see that repeated time and again, don't you? Even at the highest level, where someone is so intent on getting a ball safe that they sacrifice where the cue ball's going. And ultimately, a safety shot is all about the best possible safety.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure if John Higgins had his time again, make sure he got that cue ball where he wanted it to. He scares a lot of opponents as well, does Judd, when he's on the song, because it doesn't seem to matter where you leave the balls. He believes he's going to pot them, he believes he's going to clear up. Makes you do things you wouldn't normally do. It's an attacking safety shot from Trump, but I think he's left this red over the corner. Now can Higgins pot it and get out onto a colour?
One.
Well, he's giving himself a shot. The blue, possibly. Maybe the pink. Got to cue this well if he goes for the blue. Blue's more of a cueing shot and the pink is more of a judgment shot, so what do you fancy?
Judd Trump won't be surprised if Higgins rallies. He knows all too well. You never write this man off. World Final 2011. Higgins was 12-9 down to Trump. 118-15 in the end.
7.
Shanghai Masters final in 2012. 7-2 down despite making a 147 in the first session. Higgins eventually beat Trump 10-9. World Open in China in 2014. Higgins 4-0 down at the interval, 1-5-4. And then, quarter-final of the World Championship 2018. Higgins won 13-12 after being 7-3 down.
Amazing.
And when it comes to being 1 down with 2 to play, as John Higgins finds himself here, what about the quarter-final of this season's Hong Kong Masters, played in front of vast crowds? Higgins was 4-3 adrift, beat Trump 5-4 in the quarter-finals.
Yeah, the crowds were phenomenal over there. Unbelievable atmosphere.
17.
Now can he just play a little cannon on the red to the left of the black? Judged it well. What a chance. Judd Trump took a chance opening the reds up. Got a good white, but a red drifted over the pocket, and here's the result. Now surely he hasn't overscrewed that and snookered himself.
25.
This is the 16th day of competition in the Bedvictor Championship League, and we've been saying this from day one. if you're going to make a positional misjudgment on these Rasson tables, quite often it's through overscrewing, because the white just grips.
Yeah, the table is so responsive. Beautiful for break building. Yeah, you get a little bit of tension in the arm, just give it a little bit too much.
26.
Judd has been looking very good in amongst the balls
33.
over the last couple of days.
He's been responsible for 4 centuries in the group so far, the best of them being a 137.
Is that the most in this finals group?
It is. Bingham's got 2.
40.
Robertson's got 2. Trump's got 2, and Wilson's got 2. Actually, I think I'll change my mind when I say the 137 was the best of the Higgins breaks. It was the highest. I think the best was the 108 he made
41
in the deciding frame against Stuart Bingham, because that was really important.
Just came a little bit straight, not pink than he would have liked. Leave himself further away from the next red.
47.
Oh, it shouldn't be a problem. Never know. Sometimes fall out of position, concentrating hard on the pot.
Yeah,
case in point. Gave so much to the pot there that he's come up a little bit short on the black and now needs a good shot. Does he play the little cannon? But not sure about the little cannon. If he'll end up on one, he might have to go in and out of balk here, or leave himself even further away from the next red, which he doesn't really want to do. That's what he's decided. Just hold and leave himself further away.
55.
That's nicely struck.
56.
56 in front. Black will be 63. So we'll need another red and a high value colour after this. Will he play the cannon? Do any of these reds pop? Yeah, perfect. That's the right shot. Fully commit to it. Get yourself in there.
63.
Red and one more colour.
And this isn't any old break. This is coming immediately after the snooker equivalent of a kick in the teeth. Lost the last frame when he was 57-0 ahead. Other players might crumble in front of your eyes. Not John Higgins.
70.
No, and you never know, even if he does go on to lose this winning this frame could be the difference between getting through and not getting through.
71.
It's a really good point because he's already lost 1-3-2. Those extra frames can, as Peter said, tip the balance.
78.
This has been a phenomenal effort though from John Higgins here, absolutely flawless break building.
79.
Just a reminder, the next century
86.
is the 150th in the tournament.
$87.
Yeah, and I don't think we're going to have to wait too long for it, Phil. Self high on this red, so you can just run down for the pink or black, and then that'll be the ton
93.
in the bag.
$94.
Oh, look at the little wry smile. He knew he's missed hit that. He's played to just leave himself this. This is similar to the pink he refused yesterday, Phil, if you remember.
The only difference, there was pressure on that one. He'd already won the frame this time, so he gets to three figures. Well done, John Higgins. Given the context of that break, I think it's one of the best we've seen in the entire tournament.
Yeah, magnificent.
John Higgins 100 and Freya.
These two, when they meet, always deliver, and this match is no exception. It is Judd Trump 2, John Higgins 2, the decider coming up. Let's just take a peek over onto table 2, where
55.
Jack Lazowski has to beat Kyron Wilson. And then, win his last match in this group against Stuart Bingham. Well, it's okay so far. Third frame still in progress, but Lazowski
62.
will lead 2-1.
63.
Can't be bothered to try and pot the black.
63.
No century on, and so Jack Lazowski 2-1 ahead. He needs the win there and one more, and then he will have to wait on other results. No such problems for his good pal and former housemate Judd Trump. It's 2-2 with John Higgins at the moment, but even should he lose this match, Trump knows after winning his first 4 he's definitely going to be involved in the semi-final playoffs later.
Break.
That's a very good break-off shot by Judd Trump. He's opened the balls up. He's got the white tight, as tight to the baulk cushion, and I think he's cut off the routes back to ball.
By the way, the century we've just seen from John Higgins was his 12th of the tournament. 5 in this group. He had 4 in another, 3 in another. He's only been involved in 3 groups and already he's got to a dozen tons.
Foul.
Best place for it.
Judd Trump.
Yeah. You having a go at this one? Oh my word. How did that not go in, Phil?
Well, he was penalised for being too close.
I mean, look at this.
One.
And Higgins back in play.
You're watching one of the all-time greats.
8.
He's one of those players, Peter, who is so respected by his fellow pros.
Yeah, a fantastic ambassador for the game. Where he just goes about his business. The effort he puts in, the way he plays.
I know that David Hendon was mentioning
16.
his win in the 2021 Players' Championship yesterday in commentary. Sadly for Higgins, those ranking points he earned there have come up the list
17.
in the 2-year rolling system. But his performance in that tournament was the most dominant I think I've ever seen from any player in any tournament ever. He's not been so dominant here, and there an error
24.
is committed.
Yeah, and I think this is the only thing holding John Higgins back from winning regular tournaments. Still, he still looks fantastic in amongst the balls. He just puts the odd inexplicable miss or bad shot in.
And that is something that's afflicted everyone at some point as they get older. Thought there was value
Johnny
in the
Higgins,
plant.
24.
Took the cue ball out of harm's way. Wanted to make more than 24 there, though.
It's a pretty good chance that he's let slip. But he's getting another one straight away. Right to the middle pocket is on. In fact, he's got a red to the corner pocket as well. That's even better for him.
1.
Nothing to do with the cue ball. Now then, what a chance.
Before this match, Higgins and Neil Robertson were tied in the table in third place. Both had identical records, 2 wins, 2 defeats, 8 frames won, 9 lost. For now, Higgins will break that tie regardless and move into third place, but he wants to do so with 3 points. If he does that, he goes into his next match against Xiao Guodong, knowing full well victory there and the playoffs would be a calling.
Yeah, these reds are fairly close together. I had one of these yesterday where he just hit the red on the left first and ended up missing the pot. Got to be careful. Looks fairly straightforward on your screen, but needs a little bit of care and attention. Knock the other red out of the way and the land on the black.
15. Thank you. 16.
Couldn't have played that any better. Just roll this black in and red is just knocked out of the way.
Because he's won 2 frames,
23.
Judd Trump will remain at the top of the table regardless. But now
24.
his 100% record is under serious threat.
Yeah, and who knows, psychologically that might be a good thing going forward for Judd. Want to be playing later on thinking, I've won all my matches, I lose my first match and then I'm out.
Corin Wilson on a break of 66 on table 2, looking set
66.
32.
to force a decider against Jack Lazowski. Lazowski simply has to win that match. No ifs, buts or
67.
maybes. Conversely, if Wilson wins it, he's in the playoffs.
39.
74.
So my tip's hanging by a thread, Phil, is that what you're saying?
Yes, and a thin thread at that.
It is, yeah.
75.
40.
$80.
Yeah, this has been very impressive from Higgins.
47.
You know, excellent
81.
match all round. 67 in front, 75 on, so just this red.
And it wasn't just the fact he was 2-1 down, it was the way he'd gone 2-1 down. 57-0 ahead in the third frame. Trump clears up with 62 to win it on the pink. That must have hurt John Higgins, but you never would have guessed.
53.
And just bounce back with probably a couple of centuries, like nothing's happened.
$54.
Talking of centuries, Corin Wilson has just made one on table 2. So he's forced a decider in style.
61. 62.
Yeah, it's so tight out there, isn't it? In these groups, anybody could still sneak themselves through or
67.
bow out. Still places 2, 3 and 4 up for grabs.
68.
Just scored the ping too full playing that positional cannon, but the job's done.
75.
Excellent stuff from John Higgins. He didn't win that decider in one visit. A positional error cost him his first chance, but when he got in again, it was deadly stuff. John Higgins defeats Judd 3-2.